All right, we're looking at the Takashi Namariya, sorry if I butchered that, case study here. Starting with question 1. Regarding the minimum trade value agreement with members, Namariya most likely does not violate the standards with regard to market manipulation, violates the standards with regard to loyalty, prudence, and care, or violates standard 1D misconduct. So we've got violated or didn't violate, and then potentially another level of what they violated. So let's start reading. Takashi Namariya, CFA, works for Bright Futures, a medium-sized futures exchange in the island nation of Panamba. Bright Futures announces a new bond futures contract. Aware that Bright must demonstrate high liquidity in order to convince traders and investors to use its contract, Namariya, working in his capacity as the exchange's lead market analyst, enters into agreements with members in which they commit to a substantial minimum trading value on the new contract over a specified period in exchange for substantial reductions in the regular commissions. So basically giving a little kickback here on the regular commissions in order to get some substantial liquidity for this contract at the beginning of its inception. Bright Futures goes ahead to disclose its agreement with members, so that's important there. Panamba has no rules against such agreements. So this may seem like not a great thing here, where we're providing commissions for basically giving maybe a false sense of trading volume, because they might not be trading this if they weren't able to do it at the reduced commissions. But at the same time, we are disclosing this agreement with the members. So because we disclosed it, this is okay. It's not market manipulation or violating any standards of misconduct or misleading anybody, since we're disclosing what we're doing. So we can go with answer A, does not violate. Question 2. Which of the following laws must Bright Futures uphold with respect to its liquidity pumping strategy agreement with members? Local Panambian laws, CFA Institute Code and Standards, or Bright Futures internally developed rules and procedures. So remember, we're always going to have to adhere to the most strict of either laws or CFAI. It doesn't say anything about any Bright Futures internally developed rules and procedures, so that's going to be irrelevant in this case. But let's read a little bit further, I guess, to make sure there isn't anything said about that. But we have here that we read in the last question, Panamba has no rules against such agreements. A year after joining Bright Futures, Namariya quits to join a brokerage firm where he's tasked with underwriting securities. A company official gives him information indicating that the financial statements... So it looks like none of this is relevant for the question. So basically we just need to determine whether the Panambian laws or the CFAI laws or not laws, code and standards are more strict. Panamba has no rules. There's no internal developed rules either, so we can cross off A and C, and we'll go with B. CFAI rule is to disclose, and so this is the most strict. Question 3. Which of the following steps should Namariya take to safeguard his integrity with respect to the inflated financial statements engineered to overstate the issuer's earnings? All right, so we left off here. Let's start reading. A year after joining Bright Futures, Namariya quits to join a brokerage firm where he's tasked with underwriting securities. A company official gives Namariya information indicating that the financial statements that Namariya filed with the regulator overstate the issuer's earnings. So this is what the issue is here. He seeks the advice of the brokerage firm's general counsel, who states that it would be difficult for the regulator to prove Namariya has been involved in any wrongdoing. So the counsel he's not saying that he didn't do anything wrong. He's basically saying that it would be hard for them to prove that anything was done wrong. So let's look at our answers and see what our next steps might want to be. We might want our next steps to be. A, report this to his supervisor. This could definitely be a good next step. It looks like he's only talked to the general counsel, not his supervisor yet. B, notify the issuer of the inflation in writing and serve his supervisor with a copy of the notification. This is probably going to be a little bit too dramatic of a first step from here. Going to the supervisor first seems like a more likely answer. C, none of the above. He has already sought legal counsel on the matter and should follow the counsel's advice. The counsel's advice doesn't really sound like it's actually following the rules. It's just saying that he likely won't get caught. So we're going to go with A, report it to his supervisor, and then go from there. If the supervisor doesn't want to take any action, then answer B is probably would be the next action after that. Question 4. With regard to the performance report of past clients, Maria should immediately notify the regulator, notify his supervisor, or dissociate himself from the activity. Let's take a look here. We left off at the last paragraph, so let's read this. His brokerage firm advertises its past performance record by showing 10-year returns of composite clients for whom it has underwritten securities in the past. He discovers, however, that the advertisement has left out firms that performed dismally during the 10-year period, whereas the description of the composite indicates the inclusion of all firms. So that's going to be a big no-no, and the activity that he's likely looking to make right on. This omission has led to an inflated performance figure. Maria is asked to use promotional material that includes the erroneous performance number when soliciting business for the firm. So for this thing, we're basically wanting to figure out what should be Maria's next step. So A, notify the regulator, B, notify his supervisor, or C, dissociate himself from the activity. So these are generally all going to be good activities or things for him to take. So we're really just looking at what does he need to do first? What's the order of operations here? So first thing he's going to want to do is going to be dissociate himself from the activity. So that's going to be our answer, dissociate yourself. The next thing he would do is then go notify his supervisor. If the supervisor doesn't do anything, then we're going to go ahead and notify the regulator. But really here, it's these are all good things for him to do, but more so answer C, dissociate himself, which would mean not using this when soliciting business for the firm. So we'll go with answer C.